We started out, my dad was a ham radio operator years ago, back in the 50s. And he actually had to go to the FCC and Washington, D.C. to take his test. And so later on, I had this 7-band receiver. And so we challenged each other, and he ended up, well, he had like a 16-hour flight Australia or some kind of stuff down there. He worked for the government.
Okay, this is N2LEM with another quick video clip. Here is the Yaesu SM-5000 station monitor. We just dismantled it. Bunch of screws, the top cover, literally you push the chassis forward, the top cover slides out. You don't need to take out any of the bottom screws. There are 3 screws on the back, 3 screws that hold the front panel together, 3 screws on the bottom of the front panel. And then there is one single ribbon cable which gets plugged in. Let me show you real quick. Right here. When you remove these cables or any ribbon cables from the radio, it's just very important that you grab it. You grab the cable from the blue. You don't want to grab it from the ribbon itself because you could actually tear it apart. So you want to grab it from the blue wrapping. It's thick. There's also a single plug that plugs right in here. And then all these wires run under this single plastic wire holder here. It just goes, there are 2 of them. It just goes under the first one. All these wires go under here. So, they come in and then they go. Now, when you remove these connectors, the same thing. You want to get a flat-bladed, small little jeweler's tool, and you want to get under it, lift up one side, go to the other, or put a flat blade on each side, and you just want to wiggle them up. You never grab the, to pull these plugs from the wires. You could possibly pull them out and destroy the wires that go right into the pins on the connector. So you want to get under and lift up a little bit and wiggle it out, and then it'll come out gently. So just a word of advice. Now, to remove the display, a lot of people change this display because it gets dim. The OLEDs get dim. This particular display, and I purchased this used. This display, we're only getting half of the display. So we ordered the display. It was very expensive. This particular one, today is, I believe it's February 9th, 2023. And speaking with Beatrice at Yaesu, they only had one left in stock, and it's a new updated display. Here it is right here, just arrived. When I order from Yaesu, this actually came priority mail. I had it in, like I ordered it on, I think Monday morning. They didn't ship it until Tuesday, and I received it today is Thursday. And it was $174 with the shipping. It was just under $200, and you could buy them brand new still for about $329. So, you know, with what I paid with this, for what I paid for this used, I mean, I could have shipped it back, but I decided, you know what, I have it. Let me go ahead and replace the display, and I'll spend a little bit more money on the cost to repair. And hopefully, once I replace it with the new display, I'm going to power it up. You'll see. Now, the way to get to the display, I've already taken this apart because I've tried to repair this display, thinking that maybe there was some cold solder joints and stuff, but nothing that I did restored the full display. But you're going to need to remove 4 screws here for that, on that side, 4 screws here, and then this entire aluminum bracket will just pull out gently. And then there's a plastic holder that holds the display down here. You remove 1 screw, and then the display literally comes right out. We'll be back. N2LEN. This is N2LEN with another quick video clip continuing the installation of the new display for the Yaesu SM-5000. This is the box that it came in. I just want to show you how it's packed. Large bubble wrap. And then it's put in a plastic. It was put into this plastic bag, which was sealed. And then it is wrapped in cardboard and in bubble wrap and taped shut. We're going to go ahead and unbox that, and then we're going to go ahead and dismantle the original display. This is N2LEN. This is N2LEN continuing. This is the display, how it just came out of the cardboard. It's in a bubble wrap bag. You could see there's the ribbon cable. There's the original. Looks like it's in some cardboard. We're going to cut it open, and we'll be back. This is N2LEN. We removed it from the plastic bag. This is the display, the Yaesu display for the SM-5000. It looks like it's in its own plastic holder. There's cardboard put up on it and taped. And we're just going to take the tape off. And the reason why I'm going back and forth is because I can't hold the iPhone and do this all together. Maybe I could actually see if I could cut the, hold on one second. You see the display. Yeah, it's taped all over. Let me go ahead and I'll be back. This is N2LEN. We removed the cardboard off of the continued wrapping, and there's more bubble wrap protecting the display. And there is the new replacement display. There is a plastic lens covering, some plastic. We'll remove that after we're ready to replace it. We want to make sure that we keep our hands clean, and we don't want to touch the actual the display itself after we remove the film protection. So it was packaged absolutely flawlessly. And remember, this is February 9th, 2023, and this was ordered from Yaesu USA. And it was $192, I believe, shipped, $175, $174 and change. But this was the last one they had in stock currently. So if you need to get one, you may want to call them and order it, and it'll probably be a couple of weeks until they get it in from Japan. We're going to go ahead and remove the original one. We'll do side-by-sides comparison of the new one and the original one, see if it is the same. I don't know what revision this is by serial number. I didn't do any looking up of that, but we'll do a side-by-side comparison. This is N2LEN with another quick follow-up video clip. We just removed the metal frame, 4 screws on each side that hold down the the entire frame. On each speaker side, there are foam, like inner foam protections for the speakers. They give some baffling. Here is the original display. You do not need to take out the push button board. There is one screw that's connected to a little plastic holder. Once you remove that, the display will lift out. Okay, and then we'll do a side-by-side comparison. This is N2LEN. Okay, this is N2LEN with another quick video clip. We already we pulled off the film of the on the new board. The original board looks identical to the new board. There'll be a picture added. The plastic holder where you put the screw in, which is right here, that is part of the display. When you loosen this screw up, you're going to gently take the ribbon cable to give it initial lift up. It comes up very easily, and then you grab it from this side on an angle and you wiggle it out from this. It has to, you see how the plastic goes under this holder right here? Right here. Let me get a little needle nose so you can see right here. And when you insert it in, it goes in on an angle under that little holder. Is there a holder on each side? Let me see. Yes, there is. So you put it under, and then you just drop it right in spot, and it goes right in. You have to, when you lift it up from this side, and you gently, on an angle, you wiggle it out gently until it slips out from this corner, and then it comes out very gently. The new one goes in the same way, on an angle, under, and drop it down, put the single screw back in, and now we're ready to put the actual chassis frame back in. The ribbon cable goes right through here, and then the wire cable for the push buttons goes through the big slot on this side. You just feed it through. And then you put the 4 screws back in on each side to hold the frame back down. So it's literally 1, 2, 3 change out. And hopefully the problem with this display was a display issue. We'll know once we test it. This is N2LEN saying best 7. Okay, this is N2LEN. We're ready to screw. We just put the frame back in. It fits right back in. And just a suggestion, when you're putting in these self-tapping aluminum, the whole unit comes apart with a #1 Phillips. But when you put them back in, they're going into plastic. You want to turn the screwdriver until you feel a click. The screw will click. That's when you know that you're ready to screw down and grab the threads correctly and not rethread the plastic. So once again, you just want to make sure that you take the screw, you put it into its spot, you turn it a little backwards, you hear that little click, and then you're ready to screw it down. Okay, you don't want to, these are self-tappers, it's going into like an ABS plastic. You don't want to rethread them. Okay, so always turn back until you feel it fall into its thread. This is N2LEN saying. This is N2LEN with another follow-up quick video clip. And all these videos will be put together and edited together in order. So anyway, after you put these 4 screws back in on each side to hold down the frame, you're going to notice that the screws are maybe a 1/2 inch long. They screw down and they screw until they're snug. You'll notice that as you're tightening them up, that the cage itself, the frame, is pushing down into its, because when you push it in, it eventually stops, but when you put the screws down, it actually snugs the frame down. And you want to make sure that you put them, always put them in, in a diagonal pattern, whichever way you start, whatever corner, do the opposite side. You could put all 4 in. You don't need to tighten them. And then once they're in and they're screwed down somewhat, you could tighten them up at the end. That's usually how I do it. But they do screw down until they stop. Don't over tighten them. You'll know when they stop, when they're bottomed out. Okay, so now this is ready literally to be put right back onto the front of the chassis, and 1 ribbon cable right back in. The Molex connector, the mini Molex, around that little holder, and this is for the push buttons in the front of the display. There you go. And that's basically it. It was literally, a very, very easy change out job. Anyone who, who has some type of mechanical experience, well, even if you don't, this video should hopefully help you along. And I'm hoping that I don't have a problem with the actual main unit, because this wasn't a dim display issue. This was a half a display. So, you could see the speakers right here. I could spin this around so you can see what it looks like. I hope it's not an electronic display on this main board. We'll know as soon as we power it up and we turn the display on. You can see that the speakers have their own little acoustic cabinet. They do a decent job. There's no comparison to using a 5 or a 6-inch external speaker like an SP220 and an SP2000 or whatever. But they do the job. You're not going to get full frequency response out of them, even with these little acoustic cabinets. But it's not a bad design, and it's a nice tool if you don't want to use the DMU with the display on top. Let me zoom in. You can see the actual caps look good. I checked the caps on it. I'm thinking this is a later unit simply because that the LCDs, the actual displays, looked the same. They did not look different. And I did take a picture. But an expensive repair either way. $190 something, and that's priority mail. $192, $194. It's like a $200 replacement. And like I said, DX Engineering still has a few of them in stock for $319, I think, or $329 plus tax. So it's a crapshoot. And this will be a crapshoot. If I have half of the display, then I have 2 good displays. I'll probably just keep them, and then we'll look at repairing this. There's not that much electronics, and that's a single board. Actually, yep, it's a single board. So we'll know in a little bit when we do the test, in about 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to slide this right back into the cabinet, and we're going to go screw it back together. And we'll really end with another quick video clip. When you put the front panel on, there are 4 screws on the bottom that hold the front panel on. I didn't attach the ribbon cable or the actual plug. I first screwed the panel on the bottom to hold it on. It just slips right in. You line up the screw holes. The cover slides right from the back over, and then you got 3 screws on the top, 3 screws on the bottom. And then you have 2 each of the frame screws. These frame pieces that actually are molded. They go on each side, and it actually moldedly sits right on the top cover of the FTD X-5000, edge to edge. Let me show you how I connected. You see how that's seated in there. Goes right in, straight down, and you push it all the way in until you can't push it anymore. And remember, only grab it from the blue strip. We're going to put the cover on, put the 2 frame pieces back on, and we're going to go test it out. This is N2. Another word of advice with the screws. The 3 screws for the top cover, and there's also 3 holes on the bottom. Those screws have curved heads. Even though they're the same threading, it's hard to see, but they're not flat. They're curved and beveled. Okay, so you don't want to mix up the screws with the screws that are on the bottom. And remember, you only have to take out the 4 screws that hold the front panel. when, you know, to remove the panel. The cover is 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 in the front, 4, 5, 6, and then this just slides right out of the chassis. Let me show you. There you go. See that? And it slides right back in place, and the screw holes line right back up. Hey, this is N2LEN with our final follow-up video clip. We did not power up the SM-5000 yet. We just reinstalled it with the, see how it sits, and you could see how those little plastic holders fit. It's curved, so it sits absolutely perfectly onto the front of the radio. It's maybe a little taller than the TS990. I guess it's the same width, same, you know, same as the 7800 or the 7700. But let's go ahead and see if we don't have half a display. So we're going to press the CS button, actually the menu button. Hold on, let me get this off. Press and hold it. There we go. And as you can see, let me get this off a dim. There we go. So we're right on the scope. The display is set to off. We're going to turn it from off to on.
The problem with 40 meters. I thought they moved them out of the 40 meter.
And there you go.
You know, some international
perfect display
or something, but I guess they didn't because they're up there. I guess they're
which
on
is an exact copy
like 7200
of the DMU.
And you're right. And then the other thing, you know, way down deep, Glenn. I really wonder how many people listen to that stuff.
Press the contrast here.
Well, I'll tell you this much, Marshall. I don't.
There we go. That's interesting.
I don't know who the devil does.
Very
Probably
nice. Okay.
foreigners listen to it.
That looks good.
I don't know. I don't know why the devil they're even there.
So there you go.
I don't listen to Radio China.
And we're going to go ahead and make
maybe
some
I did
adjustments.
When I was a kid. I listened to Voice of America when I was a kid. That's not there anymore.
There you go.
The other, you know,
See if I can
listening on
get out of it with the...
console radios
There we go.
Venus and stuff like that when I was a kid. It was just, fascinating to me. But it's a pain in the ass to me now.
This is N2LEN saying best 7.3s on a successful swap out and repair of the display board on the SM-5000. Best 7.3.
Sort of pick a clear frequency and start transmitting.